I'm over here on break, and I come out of the gas station with my coffee and go to get in my car, and there's a couple walking down the sidewalk, and I just hear her going on about, you called me a zebra, you called me an asshole, you called me this, you called me that, you called me this. And I'm like, what the hell? And I look, and then the guy goes to say something to her, and then sees me getting into my car, like looking at him, and then he shuts up and didn't say much. So I'm like, I sat, and it's raining out, so I sat with my door open. I don't know why I insist on trying to help people, but I sat there and listened to her go on while they're walking down the sidewalk, and I heard him quietly say, you know, the stupid ass thing of, I'm gonna call you a lot more than that later, and I almost did something. But they looked younger, and I gotta pick and choose my battles, and I have enough battles going on right now. I don't need any more. So that is a battle that's none of my business. I just happen to see it and hear it, and felt the need to do something, but I didn't, because no, like, I have enough going on. So there's a lot of people out there that are being abused and battered, and I truly want to help everybody. Like, I don't want to leave anybody behind. But what I just saw is childish, gaslighting, probably toxic for each other relationship, because for her to speak up like that, she's obviously not taking much, and for him to say what he said, he's obviously giving just as much as she's saying. So to me, that's a mutual toxic relationship. So none of my business. I'm glad I didn't do anything. I'm glad I kept my mouth shut. That's for sure. Well, I hope you all are having a great evening. I just felt like voicing that for some reason. It's just life, I guess. I mean, being ADHD, you try to, well, at least for me, I can't speak for everybody, but with me, I try to relate myself with everything. It makes me understand better, and seeing that, I try to like relate my relationship to it, and it just wasn't a match. So it, like, I knew it was just nothing to speak up for, you know. And I have learned throughout time that you can't help anybody that's not going to help themselves. And that's another thing that's hard. It's because some people are so beaten and so battered that they are helping themselves as much as they possibly can at that point, because they're so abused. You know, our mental health is pretty crazy nowadays. And like I said in another video, it has a lot to do with what food we intake. And, you know, being that our food is sugar based, and we are really not supposed to intake sugar. Like, that's just a thing. Believe it or not, like, everything's fine in moderation, but we really don't need extra sugar. Our body makes sugar, and yeah. Do the research, because I don't want to tell you. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a professional anything when it comes to that sort of stuff that I would be okay telling the world, because I'm not out to hurt anybody, and I don't want to hurt anybody. So if you have an idea and you're feeling bad all the time and stuff like that, and you feel like it's just weird, look into it. You know, look into the food you're eating. Look into, you know, the preservatives and, you know, the propylene glycols and all the just stuff you don't need, you know. Look into why we don't need it. Educate yourselves, you know. Everyone that's out there that's in the same situation that I'm in, you know we have a lot of time on our hands, and you know it makes the mind run, and it's just not cool. So that's what I took upon myself, and I've done a lot of research on narcissism and different mental, you know, disabilities, I call them, and it's helped me cope a lot, and especially the nutrition aspect of things. It's helped me deal a lot. I did a huge garden during the summer, and I had my kids involved, and they loved it, and I loved it, and it was an amazing thing, you know, growing your own food. And this year I want to do bees. I want to just have maybe 1 or 2 bee boxes and produce my own honey and see where I go with that and get the kids involved. That is my goal, is have my kids involved in everything that I do. And anybody that knows me, anybody that has ever known me in the past 10 years, they either didn't see me at all, or when they did, I had anywhere from 4 to 8 kids trailing behind me at all times, because I never left my house without my kids. And that's just the way I am. I love my kids. They're my life. And I know I don't talk about them much on here, and it's because it hurts. It hurts that I know I can't wake up in the morning and open my eyes and know that my kids are in the same house as I am, because they're not. And that's just the bitter truth. Well, once again, have a great evening, so I don't go on blabber. Have a great night, guys.